Hi everyone, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Maths with Sonia Ratra. Today we have lecture 2 part 2 of trigonometry. In lecture 2 part 1 we studied about standard angles. So today in part 2 we will be understanding how to solve questions based on standard angles. So let's start the session without wasting any more time. So the topic for today's session is, as you all know, solving questions based on trigonometrical ratios of standard angles, and the standard angles are those 5 only: 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. So all the angles which will come in the questions that we will solve, they will be having only standard angles. So here we have the first question. But before we start with the first question, let us take a look at all the values of the standard angles, because whenever you see in the questions the standard angles, you have to immediately substitute its value. So once again, let's go through all the standard angles so that when in the question we are asked to asked sine 30 or sine 45 or cos 60, something like this, we are able to substitute these values. So here we have sine 0 degree is 0 and sine 30 degree is half, sine 45 degree is 1 by root 2, sine 60 degree is root 3 by 2 and sine 90 is 1. And cos value, if you remember, they are in the reverse order of sines value. So cos 0 degree is 1, cos 30 degree is root 3 by 2, cos 45 degree is 1 by root 2, cos 60 degree is 1 by 2 and cos 90 degree is 0. And tan's value also you know, tan 0 is 0. This we have got by dividing sin theta by cos theta. Tan 0 is 0, tan 30 is 1 by root 3, tan 45 is 1 and tan 60 is root 3, and you know tan 90 is undefined. So remembering all these values, because these values are going to help in solving all the questions. Okay, so let's start solving the questions keeping in mind all these values. So I have taught you palm trick also, so just looking at the palm also you can remember the values. Two questions I have already discussed in part 2, the first lecture. Okay, lecture 2 part 1. So today I am proceeding further. Today we will be solving some more questions which will make the concept more clear, the application of the standard angles. So here you have a question. They have given in the question the value of x. X is 15 degree. Now verify that. Verify is also like prove that. So in verify they have given us 4 sine 2x cos 4x sine 6x is equal to 1. Now in this question, one good thing is that I know the answer. Suppose it was asked solve this 4 sine 2x cos 4x sine 6x, then I have to solve and find the answer, because the answer is not known. But in verify I know my answer should be 1, because they have solved and given me the value. The value is 1. Now I have to prove that it is, yes, it is 1. So again, last time also I told you I solved a question based on proving. I said whenever a question comes, verify that, prove that, or solve, or what do you say, show that. In everything we will be having left hand side and right hand side. So you will take one of the side and reach the right hand side, and if you see both the sides can be simplified, so you take left hand side, solve it, you take right hand side, solve it, and these two final answers should be same. So let's start with the solution. So we are taking the left hand side and I know my answer should be 1. So let's substitute. Wherever I see x, I will substitute the value of x. So I have 4 sine 2x means sine 2 into 15. Similarly cos 4x means cos 4 into 15, and sine 6x means sine 6 into the value of x, and x value is given as 15. So let's substitute. Now sine, with sine it's written 2x. 2x is the angle. We know sine and theta are not separate. If I use only sine, it is meaningless. So sine along with that angle is complete. Okay, so sine is connected with 2x, and then cos, and that angle connected to cos is 4x, and then sine is connected, one more sine we have, it is connected with 6x. 6x is the angle. So now we are substituting the value of x as 15. So we have 4 sine 2 into 15, cos 4 into 15, sine 6 into 15, all are getting multiplied. Next step we have 4 sine 30, cos 60, sine 90. These are all degrees. Okay, and then the next thing, as I told you earlier also, today also I am telling, whenever you see the standard angles connected with T ratios, you substitute its value. You substitute its value, and I promised you in class 9 you will be having only standard angles. We will never give you sine 32 degree, cos 55 degree, or sine 87 degree, nothing like this. These 5 standard angles, 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree and 90 degree. The questions based on these angles will only come. Now from the table we know sine 30 is half, cos 60 is half, and sine 90 is 1. We will substitute their values, and I told you earlier also they all are getting multiplied. So it is 4 into half into half into 1. Now you can see 4 will get cancelled with 2 into 2, and we are left with 1. So 1 is your right hand side, and hence we have completed the question. Because our aim was to reach the answer. The answer was 1, and we have reached, and 1 is what, your right hand side. Now left hand side is equal to right hand side, hence it is complete, and we have verified it. Now the second question says 3 theta. Theta is an angle, you know, and it is thrice of this angle theta. 3 into theta. 3 theta is an acute angle. Now they have asked you to solve the value of this theta in the following equation. An equation is given. So let's see. This is the equation given. 2 sine 3 theta is equal to root 3. Children, please remember, 3 theta is an angle, is an acute angle. As they have said, it's an acute angle, and it is connected with sine. Don't think of removing from 3 theta 3. No, you cannot remove. Since 3 into theta is an angle, it will be with sine. They are inseparable. You can remove from 2 sine 3 theta only 2. Okay. So if I remove 2 from here, the next step I get is sine 3 theta is equal to root 3 by 2. I am once again telling you, in sine 3 theta you cannot remove 3, because 3 has been multiplied with theta. So this complete 3 theta is an angle, and it is connected with sine. They are inseparable. They will remain as it is. So sine 3 theta is root 3 by 2, and from the table we know, the value of sine 60 is also root 3 by 2. Because in our question sine with an acute angle is given, so we will see in sines column only for which value of sine we are getting the answer as root 3 by 2, and I come to know that it is sine 60. That means in the question they are giving sine with an unknown angle, that unknown angle is 3 theta, and the right hand side I am having sine with a known angle which is 60. Both are equal to root 3 by 2. That means this unknown angle 3 theta is equal to the known angle 60. From here we get the value of theta as 20 degree. So here we come to the end of this question. They said find the value of theta, and theta is 20 degree. Now next question. Next question, if you can just see what they have given. If sine a plus b is equal to root 3 by 2, and this is equal to cos a minus b. Now this a plus b and a minus b, these values are lying between 0 and 90 degree only. That means they all are acute angles. So you have to find the value of a and b. Okay. Now let's start with the solution. Next we have sine a plus b is equal to root 3 by 2 is equal to cos a minus b. Okay. Now this means sine is connected with an angle, and that angle is a plus b. In the previous question, that angle was 3 theta. We took 3 theta as a single angle. So here also, when sine is connected, sine with an angle, the angle always comes in the right hand side. So sine with an angle, that angle is a plus b. If this a plus b is written before sine, then that is not an angle. Sine next to sine in the right hand side, if you have an angle, that will be taken as the angle for that trigonometrical ratio. So for here, sine a plus b means sine is connected with an angle, that angle is a plus b. And if I look at the other side, we have cos and connected with an angle a minus b. Both the angles are in variable form, and they have said these two are equal to root 3 by 2. Once again we have to recollect the table. We have to memorize for what value of sine and for what value of cos do we have the value as root 3 by 2. And when I see the table, okay, when I see the table, I come to the conclusion that sine 60 and cos 30 are equal to root 3 by 2. So in the given part, it is given sine a plus b is equal to root 3 by 2. And as far as my knowledge, sine 60 is root 3 by 2. That means sine a plus b is equal to sine 60. Similarly, in the question they have given cos a minus b is 3 by 2, but according to the knowledge I have of the standard angles, that table, I know that cos 30 is root 3 by 2. What does this means? That cos a minus b is nothing but cos 30. So that means this unknown angle a plus b is equal to 60, and for cos, the unknown angle a minus b is equal to 30. So let's write them in the equation form. A plus b is equal to 60 and a minus b is equal to 30. So here we have the two equations. We have marked them as 1 and 2. Now the question was to find the value of a and b. So what we are going to do? We are going to add these two equations. Why? If I add left hand side with left hand side and right hand side with right hand side, I know plus b minus b will get cancelled. So let's add both the equations 1 and 2. And on adding, as I told you, plus b minus b gets cancelled and a plus a becomes 2a. Right hand side we have 60 plus 30, it becomes 90. From here I get the value of a as 45 degree. And now to get the value of b, I have to substitute this value of a in any one of the equations. I can substitute it in equation 1 or I can substitute it in equation 2. So I am going to substitute this value of a in equation 1. So when one equation is a plus b is equal to 60, instead of a I will write 45 plus b is equal to 60, and from here I will get the value of b. 45 will go and get subtracted from 60. We have the value of b as 15. So the question was to find the value of a and b. See how we have simplified. So taking the help of the table, we saw in this question sine was connected with an unknown angle a plus b, but with an unknown angle its value was known, it's root 3 by 2. So from the table we saw for which value of sine do we have root 3 by 2, and from the table we came to know that it is sine 60. So from there we got the first equation, that a plus b is equal to 60. And when I saw the other side, cos a minus b is also equal to root 3 by 2, which is here with cos we have an unknown angle. So from the table I saw for which value of cos do we have root 3 by 2, and the table told me that it is cos 30. So from here we got that a minus b is nothing but 30. From here we got the two equations. When we added these two equations, we got the value of a and b. First we got the value of a, then this value of a I substituted in equation 1. I could have substituted in 2 also, still I'll get the same answer. So I substituted it in 1, and after substitution I got the value of the second angle. Now we have the next question. In next question we have a figure. It is a right angle triangle and the acute angle is x, and hypotenuse is given as y, base is given as 1, and perpendicular is given as root 3. Let's read the question. From the adjoining figure, they have asked us to find the value of tan x, x, cos x, and then in the fourth part they are saying use sin x to find y. So let's start with the solution. For solving, we have to again and again take help of the figure, because with this question, with earlier 3 questions that we solved, no figure was given. So we solved it with the knowledge of standard angle, the values of the standard angles. Now for this question, since figure is given, we'll make use of the figure. The first part of this question is find tan x. Of course, tan is not connected with a standard angle. X is an unknown angle, and I don't have any other clue also. So I will take the help from the table. From the table, I will find what is tan x. And you know, tan x turned permanently black, the poem. So tan x means it is perpendicular upon base. From the figure, I will see what is perpendicular and what is base. So here I have tan x is equal to perpendicular upon base. Perpendicular according to the figure is root 3 and base is 1. So I have substituted root 3 upon 1 and tan x value becomes root 3. Now this is my first part. First part was only to find tan x, and I have found the value of tan x as root 3 by 1, or you can say root 3 only, it's okay. Now the second part is to find the value of x. Now I will take the help of the standard angles value. From the table, I will see for which value of tan my answer is root 3. Yes, so from the table, I will find from the table that tan 60 is root 3. Here in the question, tan is connected with an unknown angle x, and it is giving me an answer root 3. And from the table, I have that tan 60 is root 3. That means this unknown angle x is nothing but 60 degree, because tan 60 is only root 3. No other angle of tan gives me root 3. So if from the table we come to know tan 60 is root 3, that means tan with an unknown angle x, which is giving me the answer as root 3, is also 60. That means this unknown angle x is nothing but 60 degree. Next we have cos x. Now x is known to me. X is 60 degree. In the third part, I will substitute the value. Instead of cos x, I will write cos 60. Now x is known to me. X is 60. So now cos 60. Cos x means cos 60. Cos 60, from how we will solve further? We will take the help from the table, and the table tells us that it is half. So the value of cos x becomes equal to half. Third part is over. Now the fourth part. Fourth part is use sin x to find y. So using the figure, we will find the value of sin x. Sin x is perpendicular upon hypotenuse, and that is root 3 by y. And I know the value of x, so I will substitute the value of x. X is 60 degree. Sin 60 degree becomes equal to root 3 by y. How we have got root 3 by y? From the figure. Now why we have done this? I could have solved sin x immediately. They have said use sin x to find y. So sin x, instead of sin x, I will write sin 60, but I will take the help of the figure also, so that I can introduce that y. So sin x, we know it is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So sin x becomes equal to root 3 by 5. And when I substitute the value of sin x as sin 60, now it is a standard angle and its value is known. So instead of sin 60, I will write root 3 by 2. In the left hand side, I have root 3 by 2. In the right hand side, what I have? Root 3 by y. And by cancellation rule, root 3 gets cancelled with root 3. And from here we come to know, after cross multiplying or by equating, y's value becomes equal to 2. So fourth part is also simplified. Use sin x to find y, and we are now having the value of y as 2. Next we have fifth question. In this they have said tan theta is equal to cot theta, and you have to find the value of theta. So let's start with the solution. We know that tan theta and cot theta are reciprocal to each other. Yes, tan theta and cot theta are reciprocal to each other. So in the next step, what I will write? Instead of cot theta, I will write 1 upon tan theta. And in the next step, the right hand side, from right hand side, I will take tan theta, and by cross multiplication method, we will write in the next step tan square theta. That means the denominator has been multiplied with the numerator in the left hand side. So next we have tan square theta is 1. So from here I can find the value of tan theta. Tan theta is given as 1, but I'll take the help of table. For which value of tan do we have 1? And the table tells me it is tan 45. In the question I have just tan theta. Tan theta is 1, but the table tells me tan 45 is 1. That means this unknown angle theta is nothing but 45. From here I come to the conclusion that the value of theta is 45, and this was only asked find the value of theta, and I have found the value of theta as 45 degree. Now we have a different type of question. They have given the value of A and B. In one question we solved earlier where we found the value of A and B. This time the value of A and B are given. A is 60, B is 30, and they are asking us to verify an expression, an equation. Sin A plus B in the left hand side is equal to sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. So since it is verify, I said earlier also, prove that, show that, verify, anything comes, you will take left hand side, solve and reach to an answer, solve right hand side and reach to a new result, and compare the final result. If both the results are same, that means your left hand side is equal to right hand side. So let's start. We will take first of all left hand side. In left hand side I have sin in bracket A plus B. So since the values of A and B are known, I will substitute their values. We will close them in bracket only, 60 plus 30. Now we know in according to BODMAS rule we solve bracket first. So sines, don't write sin 60 plus sin 30, no. You have to add 60 and 30 inside the bracket and it becomes sin 90, and from the table I know the value of sin 90 is 1, so I stop here. So left hand side has been simplified as 1. Now I'll see to it that right hand side also when simplified gives me 1. So let's take now the right hand side. In right hand side I have sin A cos B plus cos A sin B. Very carefully you have to substitute the values. Now it becomes sin 60 cos 30 plus cos 60 sin 30. We have substituted the values of A and B. Now next step is pure use of that table. Pure use of the knowledge that we have of the standard angles, or I have taught you the palm trick also. Just looking at your palm also you can tell the values. So here we have sin 60 is root 3 by 2 and cos 30 is also root 3 by 2. They are getting multiplied. Then we have plus cos 60 sin 30 means cos 60 into sin 30. We will once again substitute the value. Cos 60 is half, sin 30 is half, both will be multiplied, and in BODMAS we know first we multiply and then we add. So root 3 by 2 will be multiplied by root 3 by 2, we will reach to one answer. Then half will be multiplied with half, we will get one more answer, and those two answers should be added. So your previous knowledge should be strong. You should know how to simplify or solve the questions. So after solving root 3 by 2 into root 3 by 2, I get 3 by 4, because root 3 into root 3 is 3, 2 in denominator, 2 into 2 is 4, 3 by 4 plus the second fraction is 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, which is 1 by 4, and now I have to add 3 by 4 plus 1 by 4. Since these two are like fractions, I will not take LCM, the denominator will be retained as 4, numerators will be added, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 upon 4 is 1. So as you can see, left hand side's result was 1, right hand side also when simplified gives us 1. That means your left hand side and right hand side are equal. So we have verified that whatever was given in the question is true. Hence proved. Now next we have another question. In this question the figure is already given to you, and in this adjoining figure they have said AP is a man of height 1.8 meter. So in the figure I check AP is there, and it is, we have to assume this as a man standing, and BQ is a building of height 13.8 meters. So here we have BQ, it is the complete height of the building, Q is the top of the building, B is the foot of the building. In AP, A is the foot of the man and P is the head of the man. This is the head from where he will see the top of the building. If the man sees the top of the building by focusing his binoculars at an angle of 30 degree. So now from P where he is looking at a point Q, and the angle made by PQ and the horizontal line PC, that they have given as 30 degree. It is already given. And you have to find the distance of the man from the building. So the distance of the man from the building we have to find out. That means we have to find the length of PC. Actually, it is from the foot of the man to the foot of the building. We have to find AB. And we know AB and PC are both equal because I can see ABCP is a rectangle. Okay. So let's start. So we start with the rectangle only. APCP is a rectangle. Why rectangle I am saying this? Because AP is a vertical line. BQ is also a vertical line. Building and the man will be taken as properly vertical, perpendicular to the ground. So this means angle A is 90 and angle B is also 90. And since in the figure angle PCQ is marked as 90 degree, that means angle PCB will also be 90 degree. And in this quadrilateral, let me call it quadrilateral, then I will take it as a rectangle. In this quadrilateral ABCP, P is unknown. So if I use angle sum property rule, because the rest of the three angles are 90 degree each, fourth angle, that is angle APC, by angle sum property rule, it also comes out to be 90 degree. Since all the four angles of a quadrilateral are 90 degree each, so ABCP becomes a rectangle. Now when it becomes a rectangle, it will follow all the norms of rectangle. That means first thing is that AB will be equal to PC. So if I find PC, that means I have found the distance of the man from the building. The distance is actually AB. AB is the distance. So whatever value I get for PC, that is same for AB because they are the opposite sides of rectangle. So I have marked PC also as D. Next I see AP is given as 1.8. So BC is also 1.8. By mistake I have written PC is equal to 1.8. AP is equal to 1.8 and BC is also 1.8. So here I have BC is equal to 1.8. Then we see QC. We know BQ is 13.8. So what is QC? QC will be 13.8 minus 1.8, which is 12. Now let us focus on triangle PQC. Here I can apply a T ratio. Here I can apply a T ratio. Now in right triangle PQC, we know QC is 12, PC is D, and angle QPC is 30 degree. So which T ratio? Because I am having perpendicular and base, that means I will use tan. Tan 30 is equal to QC upon PC. We will substitute the value tan 30 from the table, standard angle table, and QC and PC we know QC is 12. PC means AB only, we will substitute AB, and from here I get the value of AB as 12 root 3, and this is my answer. This is the distance of the man from the building. Now we have the last question for the session, and in this question I have taken a rhombus. They have given to you that the length of each side of the rhombus is 8 centimeter. We know all sides are equal in a rhombus, and they have given one angle. There are four angles, A, B, angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D. One of the angle is 60 degree, they have said. Now they are asking you to find the length of the diagonals of the rhombus. That means I have to find AC and BD. Before we start with the solving of the questions, we should know the properties of the rhombus, because if you don't know the properties of the rhombus, you cannot solve this question. Okay, so let us consider in this question figure is not there. This figure you will draw yourself. So let us consider a rhombus ABCD. So I have drawn a figure of a rhombus and named it also as ABCD. Now you know that all sides are equal in a rhombus. So AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to AD, and all are equal to 8. It's given in the question. So for the solving this question, I have taken BC to be 8. Next, we also know that diagonals bisect each other at right angle. That means this diagonal AC and the diagonal BD, whatever is the length of AC, whatever is the length of BD at the point of intersection. Wherever these two meet, they are meeting at point O. Wherever they meet, that point is dividing the two diagonals into two equal parts, because AC and BD are getting bisected at O, and that meeting point is special because they are meeting at right angle. That means angle AOB, angle BOC, angle COD and angle AOD are all equal to 90 degree. Okay, so here I have taken angle BOC, I have marked in my figure angle BOC is 90 degree, and then I have to assign some values also. Let me assume that the value of AC is 2x. When I assign 2x, 2x gets divided into two equal parts, so AO and OC becomes equal to x, and similarly let me take BD as 2y, and at O it is also getting divided. This means BO is equal to DO is equal to y. Now in this triangle BOC, I know angle O is 90 degree, BC is 8 centimeter, OC is x, and OB is y. Now next what we have, diagonals bisect the vertex angle. Now they have said one of its angle is 60 degree. Let me take it as angle C. Let angle C be equal to 60 degree. When I say this and use the property diagonals bisect the vertex angle, if C is the angle which we are taking as 60 degree, that means the diagonal AC divides this angle into two equal parts. That means angle BCO is equal to angle DCO, and 60 degree gets bisected into two equal parts, that is 30-30. So now in triangle OBC, I know the angle C is 30 degree. So I can see in the figure there are four triangles being formed. I am focusing only one of the triangles, that's why I have taken BC as 8, I have taken OC as x, OB as y, and angle BOC I have marked as 90. Now I know angle OCB also, this is 30. Now can you see a right angle triangle where base is x, because 30 is the angle, so the angle opposite to 30 degree will be called as perpendicular. OB, which is y, will become perpendicular. OC, which is x, will become the base, and side opposite to 90 degree BC will be taken as hypotenuse. So you can see 30 is a standard angle, and I can apply a T ratio also over here. Using all these knowledge, now the solving part starts. So you can see there are so many lines written. This is our previous knowledge. We should know, before solving a question on rhombus, we should know all the properties of rhombus, using all the properties that all sides are equal and the diagonals bisect each other at right angle. We have got that 90 degree. We have got AC as x and x, OC became x. Similarly BD we allotted as 2y and OB became 2y, and the final was that diagonal bisects the vertex angle. The angle given to us is 60 degree, and by using this property diagonals bisect the vertex angle, we have got that angle BCO is 30 degree. Now I have to focus only on right angle triangle BOC, which is right angled at O. Now I can apply a T ratio. Let us see. We can apply two T ratios because two unknowns are there. The base x is unknown and the perpendicular y is also unknown. So instead of taking one T ratio, I will take two T ratio. I will take cos 30 because cos 30 is base upon hypotenuse. So in cos 30's value I know, cos 30 is a standard angle. Base is x, that I don't know, but I will compare it with a known side. Known side is 8. I will not take tan, because if I take tan 30, of course I know it is 1 by root 3, but y is also unknown, x is also unknown, so tan will not help over here. So I have to take a T ratio in which the other parts should be known and only one unknown I should have. So cos 30 I have taken in the first case to find the value of x, because x is base and 8 is hypotenuse. So which T ratio is suitable over here, which is connecting hypotenuse and base? That is cos 30. Cos 30 is base upon hypotenuse. So I have written cos 30 is equal to x by 8. Similarly, I will take sin 30. because sine 30 is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Here perpendicular is y. So again in the second t ratio, all other parts are known except y. So I can easily find the value of x and y. Now I will substitute the values. Instead of cos 30, I will write root 3 by 2, and the right hand side is as it is, x by 8. In the second part, instead of sine 30, I will substitute its value. It is a standard angle, 1 by 2 is the value, is equal to y by 8. Now I will cross multiply, and I will get the value of x as 4 root 3 centimeter and the value of y as 4 centimeter after cross multiplying and simplifying. Now they are not asking us the value of x and y, they are asking you to find the value of AC and BD. We already said AC is twice of x because the diagonal AC got bisected at O. So if OC is x, AO is also x, that means AC is 2x. So I have to multiply 2 with the value of x. So after multiplying it, we get 8 root 3. Sorry, it is not 4 root 3, it is 8 root 3 centimeter. Similarly, the value of y, which is BD, it is twice the value of y. So y is 4 centimeter, so 2 into y will give us 8 centimeter. So here we come to our answers. AC is 8 root 3 and BD is 8 centimeter. So with this we come to the end of the session. Thank you children, and God bless you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel, and press the bell icon for my latest updates.